This is a really fun way to celebrate the school's founding. Get just a little bit of history, but a lot of just enthusiasm and spirit. And it's a particularly, as I mentioned on Monday, a particularly sort of sad and sweet and sentimental time because it's wonderful to remember Vann Webb today, and it's really nice to have his mom here. Will you please stand up, Nancy? Welcome you. I think Jay Webb may be here or nearby, but we don't see him yet. So Jay's a class of 2000, cousin of Vann. And lots of friends of the Webbs are here this morning, which is nice to see as well. And I said sad because you recall that I said on Monday that a great friend of the school died, Jimmy Webb, who was Vann's uncle. And Jimmy loved this school and was board chair, as I told you, from 2005 until 2013. And it was just a shock to see him. It's a shock to not to see him here today. We have a board meeting. He'd be just as spirited and enthusiastic as anyone else. So it's a good way to honor him in remembrance as well. So this morning, there are a few people that are going to make some comments, so I'm going to move to that. First, Mr. Thompson had talked to me earlier in the week because he was a classmate and good friend of Vann's, and he asked me about this assembly, and he said, what happens? And I told him, because it started after he graduated. It started, I have the trophy here, it started in 2004, so this is the 16th year we've done this race. And he wanted to remember his friends, so please come on up and make some comments.
Thank you. Good morning. So, as many of you may know, the Founders Day Run is named after Vann partly because of his accomplishments as a runner in MBA's track program, as well as his and his family's long relationship with MBA and love for the school. But I wanted to say a few brief words today about who Vann was as a friend. Vann and I were extremely close, both here at MBA and at Vanderbilt. We were freshman year roommates at Vandy. Vann was the kind of person who really did live his life for his friends. Every day he made it his primary goal to make us laugh and to really just show us a good time, make us think, and most of all, to make us feel like we were cool. And Vann was a really cool guy. He was cool in all the usual ways that people are cool. He was smart, he was athletic, he was really funny, he had good taste in music. But one thing that people may not realize about Vann is that he loved literature and he loved reading books. And one of his dreams in life was to become a writer. And he was one of the first people to show me that doing something like that, being a writer, could be cool. So now, oftentimes when I'm writing something or I'm reading something, I take a second and I think about whether Vann would like it. And if the answer is yes, I keep going. So in honor of Vann, I'd like to read a brief excerpt from his favorite book of all time, which is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. And just for a moment, I had reached the point of ecstasy that I always wanted to reach, which was the complete step across chronological time into timeless shadows, and wonderment in the bleakness of the mortal realm and the sensation of death kicking at my heels to move on with a phantom dogging its own heels, and myself hurrying to a plank where all the angels dove off and flew into the holy void of uncreated emptiness, the potent and inconceivable radiancies shining in bright mind essence, innumerable lotus lands falling open in the magic moth swarm of heaven. So I think Vann would think that passage was very weird in the best kind of way. And he's probably having a real good laugh right now, seeing that I'm back here at MBA teaching English and reading you Kerouac at Assembly. But that is just a taste of the brightness and joy that Vann brought into my life. All of you, believe it or not, are experiencing something similar right now. You're forming bonds with each other that are actually immortal. They will last beyond your time at this school, and they'll last beyond life itself. Please remember Vann and honor that memory through your own friendships here at MBA. Love each other the way that Vann loved me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate working with you and really glad you're back at MBA. So we're going to do some music now as transition and celebration, and Lucas Pao is going to conduct, and he has composed. Let's welcome him. Thank you, Lucas, and thanks to our band. Ian Hall is going to make some comments in conjunction with Founders Day.
What's up, guys? When Mr. Joya asked me to speak about MBA, the first thing I thought about was the idea that MBA was more than just a school. It was a community. It's a community where individuals have the support to follow their passions, where students don't have to simply be an athlete, an artist, or a scholar. Here, I can play varsity sports such as football and lacrosse while bonding with the people who run events such as Indata in the classroom. I've created strong friendships with these people, whereas in most settings I would never be around them. Constantly, I'm seeing how MBA and its students value our community. The most recent being last week when the Harpeth Hall sent their newspaper report to MBA. When the Harpeth Hall reporter asked what was the best part about MBA, every single person asked responded with the relationships that were built between the teachers and among the students. Personally, I've made lifelong friends who are supportive, creative, and humorous. I know I can always reach out to them long after we graduate. MBA is the shared experience that instantly connects students, teachers, and alumni. Having this connection makes our community stronger. Through this community, we are able to support each other through the good times and the bad. There are long-standing traditions such as today's race that brings us all together. As long as we keep building these relationships and keeping our traditions, MBA will continue to grow and spread our community. As my time comes to a close in MBA, I reflect on all the memories I have made here and feel blessed to have this community.
So, brief history, the next slide. In 1855, Montgomery Bell died, and he left his entire worth to start a boys' school. But at that time, because of the Civil War and other issues that were on the horizon, his will was not probated until 1867 when we were founded. And it happened, the probation did, about this same time, in April of that year. And the school then began at 3 different locations in downtown Nashville between 1867 and 1915. In 1915, Mr. Ball decided to move the school with the board to its current location. The advertisement at the time was that this would be a country school for city boys. So we were the country in 1915. As you see from the slide, there were a number of important developments just in terms of property. And incidentally, it was Mr. Webb's idea, Mr. Jimmy Webb, to give the school the Long Mountain property in 2006. The 42nd Avenue fields were purchased in 2004. Brighton Avenue we acquired when we bought homes to my left. And then we purchased the Vine Street property where the parking lot construction is underway. And I guess there'll be more to put up there soon. So we'll describe the race momentarily, but to get into the mood of the race, here's a brief clip.
Gentlemen, would you draw back, please, away from the course? Thank you. Mr. Abrahams, your position, please. Owing to the absence of any other challenger, Mr. Abrahams will run alone.
Not so, Mr. Stanner!
Your name and college, if you please, sir.
Lindsay. I raced beside my friend here. We challenged in the name of Repton, Eton, and Keith. I didn't know you ran. Nor are you. Some chap told me about this shindig over breakfast. I thought I'd come and push you along a bit, what?
Delighted.
Splendid.
Good luck. Gentlemen, to your marks, if you please. Now remember, on the first strike of 12,
Stay with it!
So you see this map of the campus. What we want to do is the race will start by the Carter Building. So the runners are there, and the 11th grade is situated close to that start in front of the dining hall and the Carter Building. Then the 10th graders, 7th and 8th graders at the end, 9th graders, and then the seniors here at the finish line. We will go out in a second. Okay, I'll read the names in a moment and let you cheer your friends. Shh. The way we will start the race is I will ask everyone to be quiet. You'll hear those Westminster chimes, and then the bell will strike, and on the first strike of 10 o'clock, the race commences. So, in the 9th grade, Carson Meyer. In 10th grade, Lucian Bernetti. 11th grade, Jack McKinnon. And in the 12th grade, Jake Herbstreit. Let's go outside. Let's go out.